Good morning. Aloha kako. I'm Robert Blyve-Roman. I'm the Chancellor of the University of Hawaii at Manoa. When David Matlin began as athletic director, he and I agreed that there were many features, many elements to making a great coach. I'd like to mention just three of these. First, a great coach for us needs to understand Hawaii, be committed to Hawaii, and understand the importance of athletics to Hawaii, to Hawaii's people. Second, a coach needs to understand the unique challenges that we have because of our location here in the Pacific, and for football especially being the only FBS school that is not located on the continent. And third, and perhaps most important to me personally, a coach needs to understand that being a student athlete is not just about athletic skill, it's about character. It's about humility, it's about hard work, it's about diligence. So when David Matlin came to me with a prospective coach with all of these qualities, I had no difficulty in accepting his recommendation. So we have that new coach with us this morning. Let me introduce now David Matlin, who will move us on from there.
Thanks, Chancellor. One housekeeping note before I introduce the biggest secret in town is the head coaching terms will be available, the terms of his contract will be available shortly after the press conference. We'll hand them out to everyone, so if you have any questions about that, you can just hold that until after that, after Nick goes, but they will be made available, the term sheet. It's a privilege to announce Nicholas Robert Rolovich, Rolo, in short, as the University of Hawaii's 23rd head coach. He is a leader both on and off the field, and he typifies our mantra of winning with integrity. Introducing Nick Rolovich. Let's give him a hand.
Good morning. I'd like to say a few thank yous. Obviously, Chancellor, I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to be here. President Lasner, I don't know if he's here, but I'm very honored. David Matlin and the Board of Regents, thank you for trusting with me this program. There's a few other people I'd like to thank. First one being Jacob Espiau. A teammate of mine took me to the windward side one day, picked a guava off a tree, handed it to me and said, "Try this." I'd like to thank Nate Jackson, a teammate of mine, who allowed me to share his number his senior year, and I was honored to do so. I want to thank Chris Brown, who grabbed me in the locker room at SMU when we were down at halftime my senior year and told me I was a warrior, and this team believed in me, and they were ready for me to lead them. And I want to thank La Nui Correa, who took me diving out the east side one day and grabbed me by the fin before I started chasing a humu down. I'd like to thank Justin Colbert, Tafiti Uso, Shannon Harris, Louis Fuata, Manly Kanoa, Brian Smith, Vince Manoa, Uriah Moinoa, Craig Stutzman, Ashley Lee, Thero Mitchell, Mike Bass, my teammates. Those guys taught me what it meant to be a warrior, and that's what made me want to be here today, and I'm honored to do so. I'd like to thank, obviously, Coach Polian from Nevada, who was very encouraging through this process. It happened fast at an awkward time for some of the student athletes, and he handled it great. Learned a ton from him about recruiting and really helped me become a better coach. Coach Alt from Nevada, when I was there, we were fairly different, but he also coached at his alma mater. And the pride he showed day in and day out about the pride and the passion that he showed every day, every step he took walking around campus. I looked at him and said, if I ever get the chance, that's how I'm going to do it. I'd like to thank Coach Chow. Coach Chow, when I left here, told me I was going to leave and become a better coach, and he was right. And all the incredible facility upgrades, the room we're all in, this looks a lot different now. The locker rooms, I mean, and most importantly, the APR he left us in, and the graduation rate is something we will continue and something we should all be proud of. Then I look at Coach McMacken, who brought me here as a recruit, trusted in me as a player, and then trusted me and gave me my first shot as a Division I football coach. I owe a lot to him. And Coach Jones. Coach Jones has been an incredible influence on my life for 15 years with continuous guidance throughout this game, throughout life in general, throughout coaching. I've been very blessed to be around some special people. Final guy is Coach George Rush. George Rush, I remember a lot of things about Coach Rush, but he told me one thing. It's all about the players. And I never forgot that he said that, and it's true. It's about these student athletes and their experience at the University of Hawaii and the teammates and the bonds that they build when they're here. That's what's important in this deal. My final thanks has got to go to my family. I didn't know what Aloha was until I got here in 2000. Well, it probably took me a little bit to understand it, but my parents raised me the right way, and I have to thank them for that. I didn't know it was called Aloha then, but it was, and they taught me to treat people right. They taught me to care about people, and they taught me to respect the place where I'm living and where I'm at the moment. So I appreciate that. The final person I'd like to thank is my wife, Maui girl. Probably the biggest influence on me as far as understanding Hawaii. She was as big as a help to understanding the culture and just how to live right that I was able to. I'm just very blessed to have her and our 4 kids. So I left here after my senior year, last game. I walked out of Aloha Stadium with up the ramp. I still remember it. It's an experience, the greatest day of my life as a football player before a husband and a father. And all I want is for our student athletes to be able to walk out with a similar or better experience. I want them to see the newspaper falling. I want them to feel, is it shaking? What is that sound? That's Aloha Stadium moving. Why is it moving? Because people are so excited to be there. It's a special place when it's rocking. And I believe if these kids that we have in our program right now make this community better by living Aloha and playing Warrior, I think they can impact this community in such a positive way, and we can get back to the winning tradition that we all want around here. I'd like to finish with this before we take questions. I have 4 kids, like I mentioned. A lot of Disney movies. We're watching Lion King a few years back, and I liken us a lot to Pride Rock. We were great once. We can be great again. We can all be Simba, and it's going to take all of us. We all are Simba. Do one thing better today to help this program and this community and this university, and this place will be great again. Pride Rock has a chance, and we're going to get going. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We'll take some questions right now. We have a microphone here in the front and in the back. Raise your hand. We'll get one to you.
I love that mustache.
Nick, do you have your staff together already?
I do not.
Do you have a timeline for when you will have it together?
Not as much a timeline as it is I think it's better to get the right guys than quick guys. I want guys that, what I'm going to call them is men of aloha, that will guide these young men off the field, be counselors, be role models. But no, I'm not in any hurry to do so. I'd like to talk to a few coordinators before we hire them. Obviously, there's going to be a crazy coaching carousel going on this year that we're going to have to be aware of. I want to make sure the people that commit to us are ready to dig their feet in and work for this program. But we have a lot of candidates that, I tell you what, I got 700 friends, because that's how many text messages I got. There's no lack of interest in working here, and I appreciate that.
Rolo, Chris Tanaka, Hawaii News Now. Congratulations and welcome back.
Thanks,
Good
Chris.
to see you. How are you different from when you left in 2011? It seems like those last 4 years went by quick.
They did go by quick.
Yeah, how are you different? Coach,
But I
as
never
a man?
left. I never left. In my heart, I never left. I learned a lot about recruiting. I learned a lot about a different type of offensive scheme. But the lessons I learned here through my parents and through Hawaii, I was able to thrive on the main. Aloha works here. I understand that. Aloha works everywhere. They may not call it aloha, but it helps you everywhere you go if you treat people right. Hawaii helped me on the mainland as much as the mainland helped me become a better coach. Obviously, I became a father of 2 more children, but it's the maturing process. It's the growing process. There's lessons all the time. But my care for the players and their well-being never strayed. And I think that's what I'm going to – I believe that's why they like playing for me and they trust me, because I don't know how to lie, and I care about them as people. Yes. Hi.
Why do you think you were selected? And a second question, what are you going to do to make this a winning team?
I hope I was selected because I fit the criteria the chancellor laid out for us. I do care about Hawaii. I care about the people of Hawaii. I owe it to the people of Hawaii. Hawaii changed my life. Hawaii changed my life in a way where I was at a moldable time. I could have gone either way. And there's some people on this island and in this state that took me and said, hey, this is the way it works here. You either, if you don't like it, you can always go home. But here, this is how it works. And it clicked. It clicked for me. That's how I want to live. And your second part of your question is, I don't believe it's scheme. I don't believe it's what offense we're going to run, what defense we're going to run. I told the kids this morning, it's about the love between each one of them. If they will go into battle with each other, for each other, this team will be great. I don't care if you run Air Force's offense, San Diego State's offense. It doesn't matter. It's the bond between the players in the room, in the locker room. I think that's what makes a great team, and that's where I'm going to start. And that's why probably coaches aren't as an urgent decision-making point for me right now. It's about getting this team in a place where they understand each other and are open-minded to each other and find one goal. And from there, we will keep moving forward one step at a time. All I've asked them to do today is to do one thing to make this campus better. Whether it's picking up rubbish, whether it's saying hello to someone they never really say hello to. Or maybe it's a local boy talking to some guy from the mainland, helping him through the process of the local culture. Just one thing. Tomorrow do another thing. And we will keep building from there.
Hey, Nick,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thank you.
How difficult was it to leave 4 years ago, and did you ever believe that you would be back as soon as this?
I always believed I'd be back. I always believed I belonged here. I did not know how quick it was. It was hard to leave. It was hard to leave because it's a hard profession for coaches. You try your best and sometimes it doesn't work out. You just got to pick up and you got to keep working. And obviously, I'm excited. It kind of sunk in seeing all these faces in the crowd. You know, everyone, there's a want. I can see it in the eyes of this room and the players I met with this morning. There's a want to be great again. And it's my job to get that out of them and get that done. Yes, Dave.
Can you talk a little bit about this first game in Australia? And did you grow up as a Cal fan? I don't remember. I know it's pretty close to where you grew up, though.
I didn't grow up a Cal fan. You know, the big game, the laterals, that was a big thing growing up, you know. I believe it was 83. But it was the closest college to us growing up. Excited. I think it's going to be an incredible experience for our guys. To be able to go over to Australia, has there been a game in Australia before, an American football game? Two games in the 80s? Well, not in Sydney. This is more than just a game. I know the travel. I mean, people have asked me about the travel. Look, if you're going to play at Hawaii, you're going to be on a plane. Accept it and enjoy it. You're not going to be able to go to Australia and play a game every year. And there's 2 teams that get to do it. I think we take advantage of it. I think we enjoy it. I think we make an experience for our student athletes.
Aloha, Nick. Mike Sullivan, Guava Press, welcome back.
Thank you.
Following up with Dave's question about going to Australia, what are the recruitment opportunities while you're down there? And because Hawaii is such an international destination, your time in NFL Europe with, I believe, the Rhine Fire.
Correct.
And, of course, the rest of the Pacific Basin, what are your plans for perhaps recruiting internationally and getting us on the map?
It's at an interesting time of the year as far as recruitment goes. I think us being there will be an exciting time for the people of Australia, especially because football is growing. Scott Harding, you know, obviously was a good ambassador for our program and the game of football in Australia. I don't believe there's a chance for us to get out and actively recruit at that time of the year if the dates are correct. But us being there, every year is more and more emails from all over the South Pacific, but you see a growth in Australia recently. And us being the closest university for them, and we've had players come here and be successful. It's going to be great to promote our program. I don't know if specific recruiting events can take place, but to promote our program in Australia, I think it's incredible. Sure.
Hey, what's up, Nick? Sam Spangler from KHON. How's it going?
Sam. How are you?
So, as you've noticed the past few years, this program's kind of struggled to find an identity on the field. What's your plan for an identity between the lines for this program?
Between the lines, scheme-wise, or I think it goes back to these kids. If they will play for each other, and I told them again, it's about you and playing next to the guy. Like I mentioned the guys earlier, we were a 3-9 football team in 2000. It wasn't because the scheme was any different. It was because after the 2000 season, 2001, we were not going to let it be the same. We were going to play for each other. Okay, we were going to play smarter. We were going to be better people off the field. Okay, that's what's going to change between the lines. Okay, I hope the boys realize that I'm going to love them. I'm not scared to use the word love. I hope the boys realize that I'll be there for them on and off the field. They can trust me, and I hope the boys start to feel that from each other. When they start to feel for each other, it can go wherever we want it to go. Then it's their choice. But they have to make the decision to come together.
Coach, you know, you talked about that growing process. Sorry, right there, Killa. Khalil Kalani. You talked about the growing process.
Okay.
And, you know, going from OC to head coach, kind of that next step in that growing process. What are some of the challenges you foresee as you make that transition to a head coach, and what are some of the changes you're going to have to make?
I don't plan on calling the plays. I want to be the best head football coach I can be. I know the time it takes to be an offensive coordinator, the film study. I don't want to compromise this program and try to do both at this point. If sometime down the road we're successful and that ends up being an option, maybe. But right now I'd like to hire an offensive coordinator to run the offense. I think if I, as a head coach, just make my decisions in the best interest of the student athletes in this team, I think I'll be fine. And I just hope they know that. Hi, Chris.
Couple part question for
Okay.
you. Relating to hiring coaches, one, will any members of the current coaching staff be given consideration? And then subsequent to that, filling out a staff, recruiting doesn't wait.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But there's 15 other jobs open in college football, and we're one of the ones that filled it early, which I appreciate. And I do appreciate being able to see the team before they get into their finals week and finals preparation. I think it was an important message for me to give them this morning. It is early, and yes, recruiting doesn't stop, and it won't stop for our staff. And we're going to start this week locally, and we're going to get out as much as we can. We will start here in Hawaii and then see what our needs are. But there needs to be we need to sit down, we need to make a plan, what's available, who are we going to go after. You know, you got to talk with the academic people. I mean, I don't want to rush into a coaching staff because I don't want a coach to say yes and then leave us. I think that's as detrimental as anything. You know, in 2 months, he gets hired away. You know, I want to get the right guy that wants to be here, that's ready for this challenge.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Oh, thank you very much.